Welcome in, Seeing Scarlet. It is Sibby here, joined always by my co host, Shelby. And we are here with another interview and a very timely interview given when we're recording this last night, a huge success for the Texas Tech Lady Raiders, a statement game that we'll get to talk to someone who's been around the program in a multiple of different ways, and that is Zuri Sanders. Welcome to Seeing Scarlet, Zuri. We're so happy to have you here, and I have a little blurb about you before we get really into it. And y'all, we're talking to a hooper tonight. I am so excited. I can't wait to hear your perspective of your time here at Texas Tech. So, y'all, Zuri was here. She was a Lady Raider. We have that same storyline for so many coaches on this team, which is so awesome to be able to say. And Zuri, when she was here, had an incredible freshman impact in her first year. And that, I think, gave you the strength to work through some challenges in your sophomore season with an injury. And then, y'all, when we talk about players that come back from an injury, Zuri is that story. She balled out her junior and senior year, and now Zuri, you're the director of player development and social media recruiting for the Texas Tech women's basketball team. There's so much more to be proud of you about, but we don't have the time. Zuri, welcome to Seeing Scarlet. We're so excited to talk to you tonight. How are you doing? Tell us everything.
Great. Thank you guys so much for having me. I have to just give you guys your shout out for everything that you guys do, not just for,
Oh.
but also specifically for the women's sports at Texas Tech. I feel like I've told you guys this before through DMs, but like I know to be like whenever I saw you actually had a volleyball, I wish you guys were a thing whenever I was a player. Because yes, Tech great job in regards to really highlighting our sports teams, but having an extra podcast just outside of it, the things that you
Mhm.
guys highlight, the way you empower young women, thank you guys for everything that you do. Like seriously, thank you.
Oh my
Cry,
god, I'm
Zuri.
done, dude. We made it. We made it, Shelby. Wow, Zuri,
Oh,
like
yeah.
game recognizes game. I stand by that, and I really appreciate you telling us that because I mean, like we share that about y'all, and it's all about giving and receiving it too. So, thank you for saying that. Yeah, that's all. That's the reason why we do what we do,
Yeah,
and
everything you just said is exactly like if we have like a
yeah,
mission statement, that's the mission statement. And that's why when people are like, man, it seems like you put a lot of time into this, I'm like, yeah, but it's really not that hard because we know what the goal is. So like every
mm-hmm.
decision's like exactly what you just said. Okay, how can we promote and engage and put these women and these athletes out there for people to see in a better way than they are right now. So it's really not that hard, but we appreciate it when y'all say stuff like
Yeah.
that. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Wow. Okay. Great. Well, Zuri, let's dive in. Let's talk about who you are, and maybe you can talk about too. We asked this question to another Texas Tech alum. Who were you when you were here at Texas Tech during your time, and then who would you say Zuri is now?
Oh gosh,
Uh huh.
This is a tough
who was
question.
I when I came to Tech? I was an immature 18-year-old who thought I knew any and everything, and my mother can attest and agree to that 100%. 100%.
We all
Guilty.
were.
Bro,
We all were. You
seriously,
know.
and it's funny because growing up, I have two other siblings, and my brother played football at Florida State, and my sister played basketball at Iowa. And so, like,
Casual.
my sister was the shortest distance from home. She was 7 hours away. And then I am the furthest from home whenever I went to college, 18 hours away. And my parents specifically raised us the way that they did because they wanted us to learn how to be independent on our own. Because
Mm,
they're very big on, eventually we're going to go away from this world. We're not going to always be here, but we're going to always be in your heart and
yeah.
always be supporting you. And so even though I'm 18 hours away from home, I'm really big on family because that's what I was raised on. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that on paper, it looks like I'm very far away from them, but I'm not. Like I talk to my mom all the time. I talk to my dad all
Yeah.
the time. My brother always is giving me advice on what I need to do when it came to college. And then my sister is just my best friend. So I'm very blessed to have the family that I have. So at that time, like I was a very immature kid, very young, trying to learn my way. And I felt like, oh, me going 18 hours away from home, I'll be able to show my mom I can do any and everything.
Take that,
Well,
mom.
yeah, that was easier said than done. But now, with me being 26, I'm in year 7 in Lubbock. I can definitely say I'm not immature anymore. I have definitely grown in that realm of things, but I'm definitely a lot more just within myself. I'm more confident. Like coming into college, I was not that confident, and I feel like a lot of probably 18-year-olds feel that way because, especially in the college athletics world, when you're getting recruited, especially when it comes to AAU, you're seen as one of the biggest stars in the country, right? So I come from the Hoosier State. I'm from Indiana. And I was blessed to be able to compete either with the best or against the best. Like one of my teammates,
Good point.
Jackie, just won another ring with the Las Vegas Aces, right? Or I was playing
Yes.
against
Casual.
Dominic McBride or, Jenna Allen. Like I can name a couple other players that ended up going to really nice universities. Like Jenna Allen played at Michigan State and now she's overseas. Like I was always competing against top notch people. Ali Patberg, she played at IU. She helped build the program with Terry Morin. Like I'm very blessed from where I came from. And so in my head, I'm not going to lie, I always thought like, oh, like I've always competed with the best and against the best. But I never played against anyone in Texas. I kept it way Midwest. Like I like the people I played like Georgia, Tennessee, whatnot, you come to Texas and it's a whole different world, right? Like the athletes that are here, because you hear about them, but it's a different scenario when you actually play against them or with them. And so my mind just was blown when I came down here as an 18-year-old, and it made me realize like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm a little fish in a big pond. Little fish.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a lot of confidence my freshman year, in all honesty, because growing up, every team that I played for, whether it was feeder ball, AAU, school ball, I was always told, just play the 1 through the 5. Like I was spread out. I was very versatile. When I came here, I was told my specific roles, and I was told if I want to see the court, basically, I need to stick to those specific roles because those are my strengths. And if I was doing the most whenever I went into games, I was pulled out very quickly. And so, yes, my confidence was shot, but at the same time, I wasn't thinking like a coach. And like, full honesty, I wasn't truly bought into the culture that was established because to me, I'm thinking, oh, I can do this, I can do that. No, 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 no. You need to do this and you need to do that and you need to stick to it. And so finally, whenever I decided to get away from my ways and I bought into what my coach wanted me to do, I'm seeing the court more. I'm able to help my team win in certain games. Like Sibby, you talked about whenever I came back from an injury. Like when I came back, we played West Virginia. And my biggest thing was I was rim running. I was rebounding. I was doing everything that I needed to do in my role. And we ended up winning against a top ranked team at that. And so it's whenever you buy into your roles and you become more confident in whatever your coaches see as strengths, and you realize that for yourself, you become more confident. So from my freshman year and my senior year, my confidence grew exponentially because I bought into my role and what I needed to do in the court.
Wow.
Yeah. I always say confidence is like a superpower. And in college basketball, the teams that are the best they have good players, but it's because they're confident. And that's why I love what y'all do as a staff. It seems like y'all get that and y'all are like, I know it's a young team and all that this year. We'll talk more about this team, but it just seems like y'all do a good job. And maybe it's because of what you just talked about. You understand that a lot of the staff on this coaching staff gets that because they played as well. They understand exactly what we're talking about. But y'all do a good job of empowering these players and being like, that you're great at this. Like, don't let other people tell you you're great at this.
Yep.
You'll get better at these things, but you're great at this. Do that.
Yep.
So that's what I love. And that's what I mean. As fans, I think we try to do that too. But y'all do a really good job, and so we appreciated it from the outside looking in, and that makes sense listening to your story.
Yeah. And you also said it in your story too. I forgot this highlight, y'all. She's talking about like rebounds and getting those boards. So Zuri, you became the first Lady Raider to average 10 plus rebounds in a season since 2006 and ranked 4th in school history. So when we talk about Zuri, like, you were tough, and I loved watching you play. Like, you're passionate and consistency, and I would love to see, be able to go to the games now and see that confidence align with, how you played and how you've grown as a person. And I think that's such a cool component of it. And what we're seeing with this team is, like Shelby said, like, it's the youth of this team, and those are our leaders on the court. How has that been, knowing what we had last season, and that momentum, and what you're seeing with this team? what is it looking like to you? How is it shaping up and seeing practice? And now we're getting into the season.
Yeah, so Shelby was talking about our coaching staff and empowering. And it's
Mm-hmm.
funny that you say that because, oh gosh, you guys, at some point, you guys need to come to an open practice, like a practice, because our practices are open to the public. Like Coach Gerlich loves our fans. And a while ago, she was, talking to our girls and, she took it away from the basketball side of things. And she said, I'm here to empower you. And that's the reason why I do the things that I do, the way that I walk, the way that I walk, because I'm all about empowering the next generation. And so when she said that, instantly, like, if you saw me on film, I straightened up and I like, cause I already like, I'm big on eye contact. So I'm already looking at her like in her eyes, but I straightened up and I said, gosh, she just empowered me. And
Mm-hmm.
so whenever you have a leader like Coach Gerlich, who has a tremendous resume, right? Who has all of the morals and the values that you need as a head coach and also as a leader, but she also has it within her staff. The way she staffs all of us is tremendous. From her associate coaches, all the coaches on the coaching staff, like our strength and conditioning coach, our athletic trainer, me, Jared Boyd, who's our chief of staff, like all the way to our graduate assistants, our managers, and then to our players. Like she's all about empowering to help you get to where you want to be in life. And so with that being said, like going back to our roster, if you look at it, like, yeah, we are fairly young. We do have a lot of upperclassmen on our team, but we still are fairly young. And a lot of our young girls are amazingly confident within themselves. Like they know who they are and they stick to that script. And now that they're in college, Coach Gerlich is really using her platform and she's trying to use the people who are on our staff to get these girls to understand it's bigger than basketball. And so, because for a majority of their lives, it's been about, sports or whatnot. But now that you're in that part in your journey where it's like the 4 years where you have to start focusing on, okay, how am I going to learn how to become more independent? How am I going to learn how to trust in my instincts, trust in my morals, trust in my ethics, know right from wrong, because I don't have my parent over my shoulder telling me no, telling me yes. You know what I mean? Like now I have to go off my own
Yeah.
decisions. And that's why she uses her platform so well, because it doesn't matter if you're 18 or 22. She's going to invest in you and she's not going to stop investing until she feels like you have given up on yourself. And even when she feels like you've given up on yourself, she's still not going to stop. Like, she has two
Come
kids.
on.
Bryn plays with us, and she is
Mm-hmm.
definitely a mama bear. And I love it. I tell her all the time that I wish I could play for her whenever I was in college, but God definitely had a different path in mind for us, and that's okay. But the greatest thing that I see with Coach Gerlich and all of our coaches on the staff is how they use their platforms to empower all of our young players. Because all of us come from different backgrounds. Like I'm from Indiana. You have Coach Vanya and you have Coach Pearson, who are both from Houston. And then you have some who are Dallas natives with Coach AC, and then also Coach Giroux's from Tyler. Like we are from all around, right? And so being able to connect to all of our different players is phenomenal. Like, I don't know if you guys know about this little nugget, but one of our graduate assistants, her name is Ladin. She's from London. Her family's also from Nigeria. And JoJo
What?
is from Nigeria. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because they talk all the time, like the connection. And where JoJo is from is where Ladin's parents are from. And so
No way.
yes, and so with this being JoJo's second year and then her running into Latin, like it's just like Coach Gerlich knows this, right? Like how she's always to connect to be able to get people to feel like, okay, a part of home is here with me. And so, like I say all that to say this, when you're 18, 19, 20, and shoot, I'm 26 and I still don't know what I want to do with my life some days. It's
We're
important.
we're 30 and still don't
I
know.
feel that.
Yeah.
Hey, Zuri, you never know. We're all just
Uh,
faking it.
But it's important to have people in your circle who are going to empower you and guide you. And Coach Gurley does that. And she's never going to give up doing that because she chose this profession for a reason. And it shows because no one knows what coaches have to go through behind closed doors besides coaches. Like, I didn't know all that these coaches had to go through until I was a graduate assistant. And my goodness, I've never been so thankful for all the coaches that never gave up on me. when the days I wanted to give up on myself. And so coach
Mm.
really sees greatness in every single one of us, when we don't see greatness in ourselves. And we are so lucky to have her in our corner.
I
We
love
love
it.
to
I
hear
love
it.
it.
That's truly a gift, and knowing, yeah, like the challenges of like coaching changes or like coaches that just aren't working for the team, and it's always reassuring when we talk to these players and hear that like Coach Gerlich and what she has and how she empowers the whole team to lead, and y'all lead in your own way too, which is I think really cool, and how y'all express yourselves and stuff like that. Like Zuri, your drip girl, like that. Were you wearing a red suit
I was
on
wearing,
game day?
yes, I was. I was.
Y'all, I'm just
I
saying, like
was.
that's a whole other component that I would love to explore later. But I think it's really cool that you're able to use, like, how do you use your experience of, especially like with the confidence piece that you were talking about, or any area, how do you use that experience to help lead our players now?
Honestly, I think the confidence always comes from just my background and who raised me. Like my
Mm-hmm.
parents, I wouldn't be who I am today without them. And I know I said like my freshman year I didn't have a lot of confidence, and that goes from the athletic side of things, like being someone who was looked to do everything, to being someone who needed to be specifically a role player. And um a little snippet about me, like obviously if you look on like our website and you read our media guide, you see that within my 4 years, I had three different coaches. My coach who originally recruited me, she was gone after my junior year, and then we had an interim head coach who stood in for a couple months, and then my new coach came in like the end of my junior year all the way through my senior year. And it's very tough to get acclimated to different cultures while you're trying
Mm.
to figure out yourself on your own, right? Because I'm trying to figure out like who is Zuri without Yolanda or my dad Vincent or my sister Zion or my brother Zebri. Like, who am I on my own? And so a lot of my confidence comes from seeing how my parents have always moved my entire life. And they've been hit with a lot of adversity that I would have never known as a kid, but I've known now that they've been able to have conversations with me because I've gotten more mature in life. And now, like, and it's funny because now people always say how confident I am and how I move and how I act and how I walk and how I talk. And I say a lot of my confidence comes because of the adversity that hit me when I was younger and how I had to learn how to get up every single time I got knocked down. Because if you don't learn how to
Mm.
get yourself up, along with obviously the support that you're getting and whatnot, then you're never going to learn how to just take it to the chin and keep going and be confident in the skills that you have and what you can do in life. And so my parents, they were sticklers on you're not transferring, you're not going anywhere. So I'm talking about, I used to call them all the time. I want to leave. I want to transfer. I want to go somewhere else. And they would always answer, what makes you think it's going to be better wherever else you go?
Yeah.
Obviously, and it goes back to I have great parents, they're very wise, and look where I am now. I didn't think I would come back and be on a coaching staff here at
Yeah.
Texas Tech, but like everything aligned the way that it did because I stuck to my guns and I stuck out 4 years despite the obstacles that I had to face. And that's also a testament to the people and the fans that are here in Lubbock. Like, we have a great community. And whenever I first committed to Texas Tech, the first thing my mom told me is there's going to be really bad days. You're not going to play all the time. You're probably going to have some moments where you do want to come home because you have to remember you're signing at a school that's 18 hours away from home. And so you have to realize that whenever you're going through some tough times, that's just life. And you're going to have to learn how to fight through that. And so the times that I was asking to transfer, they were telling me no. And I am truly grateful that I didn't leave this place because the community here is phenomenal. I am very proud to say I don't have just one degree, but I have two from this university.
Hey,
Yeah,
turn up.
two.
Hey.
And so I'm very thankful for everything that this institution has done for me in my life.
And we're
Ugh.
thankful for everything you've done for this institution. Like
Yeah, retweet or
it's such
whatever it's
a
called.
yeah, it's a cool thing, a full circle moment to see you go through those hardships and adversity and come out with 2 degrees, and now you're in the position that you're on now. I think yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah. And we've talked to like players, they've all talked about the culture of this program and the family
Yeah.
atmosphere of this program being special. And so you've kind of spoken to, I think, what you talked about with Gerlich and how she empowers people. That sounds like that's probably a huge piece of that. But from your perspective, because you did stick it out through a tough time in Texas Tech sports there, and with 3 coaching changes, and you stuck, and a lot of people didn't and wouldn't, and you stayed. So you've seen it from that perspective, right? And now you're a staff member within a program where the players just rave about the culture and the family atmosphere. What do you think goes into that culture? Is it the empowerment piece, or is there more to it? That from a player perspective, you talked about wishing you played for Coach Gerlich in this program. Then, like, what is it that's so special from your perspective?
Well, how historic this program is. Like when I got the first
That's helpful. Yeah.
check, telling me that they wanted me to come down on a visit. So, Brandy Poole, who actually she calls our games now. She's an assistant coach for the Dallas.
Cool.
Brandy has known me since I was 14 years old because she was recruiting me when she was at IU in Indiana. And so when she came down to Tech, she called me immediately and she was like, "You have to take a visit down here," because she knew I was trying to set up all my officials. The rules were different NCAA wise at that time. So when I could take my official, it was like September of my senior year. So I was okay, I'll do it. I'll go down to Texas Tech. Like I know they won a national championship. I know that, like it's a historic program. Like I'll do it. And when I tell you, I came down here, and it was a homecoming weekend. So like that's when they had like a homecoming hoop situation with men's basketball, women's basketball, and it was like the glitz and glamour with all of that. And then football played Kansas, and I also was able to go to like a volleyball match. So I was able to cross off so many different things on my like to-do list while I was here, and you're able to see the entire atmosphere of Texas Tech athletics. So like I was just amazed as like a 17-year-old, like, oh, absolutely, I have to come here. And that's when it first hit me because I wanted to commit like on my visit. And that day we were flying back home, I was telling my mom, like, I have to commit, like, I have to go there. And that's when she gave me the whole spiel, like, you know, you're going to be 18 hours away from home. Is this where you really want to go? Because it's not going to always be amazing. It's not going to always be a great experience. And I'm not letting you just pick up and leave. Like, you're not just transferring whenever you're having a hard day. And I was like, no, like, this is where I want to go. And she goes, well, you need to also be proud of saying that you're getting a degree from there. I was like, that's what I want to do. And I just remember like committing here and just my phone was just blowing up from a social media standpoint. Like the people reaching out to me saying how excited they were for me to join the team. And then like my freshman year, like I'm telling you, the fans are amazing. They don't care how much you play. They just care if you play hard. They don't care how good. They just care if you play hard. And so many fans would come up to
Yeah.
me my freshman year after I play certain games and they would just talk about my tenacity, my grit. They love my determination. They love how I
Cool.
rebound, run the. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have bought into this role as soon as I got here. Like I could have probably seen the court even more than I was seeing originally. And so the reason why this place is so special is because the people that surround it. Like, yes, women's basketball is a very historic program, and people always talk about, you know, the legacy that these players left behind. Carolyn Thompson, Krista Kirkland. I have to use her maiden name right now because that's what I say.
Make sure people know.
Person,
That's what we
Aaron,
need.
Cheryl Swoops. You know, I have to even throw my old teammate in there, like Gia Perkins, who wasn't my old teammate, but Brittany Brewer. Like, I was very
Yeah.
to have a lot of great Lady Raiders come before me. So I knew I had to uphold the standard that they built for us. And so, and that's what the fans love. They love Lady Raiders who will fight for the name that is on the front of that jersey. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I knew this is where I needed to be and this is where I need to finish out my career. So, and Coach Gerlich, she can definitely speak to that from whenever she was a player to now when she's a like the head coach of this place, right? Like
Mhm.
we're nothing without our fans. They are phenomenal. Like this community is phenomenal. So I feel like that's what holds this program at such a high level is because we have such
Mhm.
amazing community backing us up.
It's so cool to see how much the fans have been involved, and especially with the game last night, it felt so electric. And I'm like, this is the first game of the season, and Shelby's texting me, and I'm texting her, and I'm like, I can't even text you back right now. Like the excitement is just, it's here, and we were talking about it before we started recording that like basketball season, it's now, like we're in it, and
Yeah.
we're along for this ride. And coming from your perspective, like what are some things that you're really excited about with this season, and maybe what are some things to look for that maybe is different from last season, or the level up of last season?
Yeah, I mean, last season, let's be honest, we lost 5 seniors. And that
Yeah.
hurt because they were older, they were qualified. I mean, with the players that we lost, that does suck. I don't think anyone ever wants to lose their season, especially when they bring so much to your team. But we also brought in, all the newcomers that we have, right? So we have our 3 freshmen, we have our 4 transfers, and we have our 8 returners that came back. And so my biggest thing from like last year to this year is the fact that we made a postseason for the first time in a decade. Yep. And earlier we were talking about how we have like multiple Lady Raiders on staff. Like, I'm the only, and I always keep my mouth shut when they talk about this because it like makes my skin crawl that I couldn't get a postseason in the 4 years that I was here, because they have phenomenal resumes. Coach Gerlich and Planette and Coach P, like they have phenomenal resumes, and it's like, gosh, it just hurts you to know that you couldn't uphold that standard during your 4 years that you were here. And so last year, we get a postseason for the first time in 10 years, and that's the standard. Like, March Madness is the standard. Like, they're used to that. You come into our facilities and you see how many times we've been to a Sweet 16, how many NCAA appearances we've had, going to the Elite Eight. Like, that's the standard. And so knowing that during my time we weren't able to uphold that, like, as a Lady Raider alum, like, you take that to the chest. Like, it hurts. It does. And so with this team, we have a lot of great pieces that, they have a chip on their shoulder. Like, especially our returners, they have a chip on their shoulder because they want to go to March Madness. They want to bring this team back to where they know it's supposed to be. And obviously Coach Gerlich is doing that in her realm, obviously being able to get us to where we are and then just building off of that. Like, we tied a program record with 37 points in the second quarter.
Like, history being made already.
And that's casual. Not going to be the first time that we break.
I know.
Say it. Like, hey, talk about last night a little bit, since this interview will air. I don't know if we'll post it tomorrow when this will come out, but everybody saw that, and we were talking before we recorded, and I'll say it again on air because it's the truth.
Me too.
That was the best half of basketball I think I've seen in this Gerlich era, and that's no shade to any of the other teams. Like, obviously last year was special, but that was just great basketball on all levels. I don't care who the opponent was, just the way they were playing together and the style that they were playing was fun, and that's everything that we've been told was going to happen and we've been telling fans was going to happen. And so then to see it on night 1, which doesn't happen around the country, you can watch a lot of these first games and they're sometimes ugly, and that was not ugly basketball to start.
Yeah. No. And and we actually talked about this a little bit earlier, Shelby, but obviously you look at our soccer team here, right? And at the beginning of their season, they drew with their opponent. And so that's obviously not a win and it's not a loss, but I know it ticked those players off. And Coach Stone was talking about that to the head coaches here at Texas Tech. And, obviously Coach Gerlich took what he was talking about and she kind of implemented it within our team because ironically, we ended up losing our exhibition game, which doesn't go against your record at all. It's always a learning opportunity that you can get from it.
Right.
And when we huddled, that was the first thing that she brought up. She said, our soccer team, they drew with their opponent's first game of the season. And now they have a title they have a regular season title for Big 12 champs. They're going to go to the NCAA tournament. They're probably going to host. There's a really good chance they're going to host. And look where they are now. Like, we didn't this. It was
doing all those things.
And we need to use it as motivation for the rest of our season. And those girls took that message and they ran with it. So I'm really proud of our girls and how they played last night. When you do a scouting report, there are a lot of things that you'd like to focus on, obviously, besides like focusing on what the other team does. But like, you have keys to a win and what you want to focus on in the game. And we had 3 major keys that we were successful at. We went 3 for 3. And so whenever you have complete buy-in from all of your players and whenever they have that chip on their shoulder because they knew that, that was a game that the outcome shouldn't have been the way it was, but it happened. Oh, well. And you have to learn how to move on from it because this is sports. You win some, right? But you have to learn how to bounce back from it. And I feel like our team did learn how to bounce back from it. And they were tremendous in last night's game. And I'm so proud of them. And I'm excited to see how this season continues to unravel for us.
Yeah.
I love that. And
Go ahead,
We were
Shelby.
talking about it before, but Sibby, before you got on here, but
Yeah.
when she was, because I brought that up about soccer, and she was like, "Well, funny enough, that's what's said," because that was the first thing me and Sibby said. It was like, you know what? Maybe this will just be just like soccer, because we don't talk about the New Mexico game. We don't
We
talk
don't.
about it, but we
Yeah.
know that the team does think about it, and they use that as motivation. And so we're like, this basketball team's going to do the same thing. That exhibition happened, but it didn't happen,
Yeah.
and they're just going to get motivated by it. And
Yep.
I love to hear from y'all's perspective that they did. That tells me a lot about the team, because you
Yeah.
could easily sulk after that or get in your
Yep.
head, and they just said,
Pedal
"No,
to the
that's not
floor.
us.
Yeah.
That's just gonna piss us off, and now we're gonna come out and do what we do." So hopefully they will have that same mindset on Friday and every game thereafter. But fans, if you're listening, mid interview plug, get to the games. It sounds like the atmosphere is pretty good
So
last
much
night, but
fun.
like,
Yeah.
let's keep growing that. Students like that, it was just fun to watch. Like, you're missing
It's
out
really
on
good.
some fun. So get there Friday. Monday, I think, is the one after that. Like, there's a lot of games. Look at the
Yeah.
schedule. Just be there.
Buckle up. Yeah, yeah. And I love that we're talking about the success that we're seeing on the court, and I don't think it can go without saying like how important y'all's time outside of practice, outside of the game, can be. And we've been like, we have a little door into the behind the scenes, and I'm certain that you're part of the Zuri, so I want to hear from your perspective of like building this culture. And we talk about that all the time on this show, of how important that is, and we can see a direct correlation of okay, these are things that they're doing outside of practice, and we're seeing success on the court. Can you talk to us a little bit about, the culture that y'all are wanting to set in with these women, with this team, and then also some of the efforts that y'all have done of, we saw, I think, like a painting class where they were painting things for each other, and
Adorable.
Halloween costumes and beautiful Instagram reels, like you name it.
Corn
Like
mazes. All
those
of it.
things are, yeah, those things aren't just random. Like that's a very, I think, intentional effort. But tell me more. Tell us all about that, please.
So our program has something called a growth guide. And our growth guide focuses on the mental health within our like later Raider basketball. So obviously, mental health has become a bigger thing in college athletics, specifically for players. But the one piece of that that's not really talked about is the coaching side of things. And so
Mm.
with our growth guide, the reason why it's been implemented into our program is because we want to be able to grow the culture within. And it only works when there's buy-in from not just the players, but also the coaching staff. And one of our assistant coaches, Eric Drew, and he used to be player development. He also has a degree in sports psychology. Like he had a concentration in it whenever he was a graduate assistant at Fresno. And he wanted to learn more about sports psychology because he loves to know how the mind thinks when it comes to different individuals. And I was his graduate assistant last year, and so I was able to learn more about the growth guide. And we have multiple different phases. So we obviously have like preseason, in season, and postseason within the phases. And right now we're in, our in season phase. And within the growth guide, like the big keys to it is that we like to do is, so we do like a riser tap. And so a riser tap is basically a personality test, and we all take it. Like our coaches take it, our staff takes it, so that we're able to understand why people move the way that they move, right? Because it's very interesting to know, okay, how would we talk to or coach Bailey compared how would we talk to or coach Jasmine Lewis, right? Because
Yep.
everyone is coached and
Yep.
talked to differently. It helps us with mental endurance. It helps us with, okay, how do we talk to them after a setback? Like, what do we need to say? What are the pointers? And it also,
Oh, so cool.
I think, because let's be honest, like coaches go through a lot. And I was always blessed to have the coaches that I had growing up, but I never knew the full extent of the sacrifices that they gave until I was a graduate assistant. And so with our growth guide, it focuses on also the mental health of our coaches too, and being able to help them be the best that they can be to be able to perform like a very top performance. So within that also, and then also within my role, now that I am player development and coach, Drew is now an assistant coach on staff. He's definitely taught me like more so I can take the growth guide kind of into my own hands and being able to continue to build it. But also it's something that we all take great pride in because everyone's so invested in it. Like, um, another thing that we like to do is team bonding within that, right? So growth guide, like one thing that we like to do to challenge our players is we want them to do meals with every single person on our coaching staff. And so they'll do like little tiny meals, and it's like maybe one or two players can get like 2 or 3 coaches on the coaching staff, and they can go either the cash or they can bring lunch to the Womble facility, and you just sit and you talk about anything but basketball. Anything but basketball.
Cool.
Talk about basketball.
That's hard.
So
That must be really hard.
hard. But sometimes why like the conversation does get brought up or whatever.
It's impossible not to bring it up, but
it allows you to know someone on a different level. And so that was just a recent challenge that we had. And then we also have challenges where the girls have to sit and eat with each other. And it has to be one-on-one meals. Like that can't be 2-on-2, like 3-on-3. Like it has to be one-on-one so that you're able to get to know someone that you may not be as close with on the team. But it also gives you a soft spot for that person because you have that one-on-one conversation with them. And then obviously also the team bonding that we do on top of that. So obviously whenever October hit, you're in fall season and
spooky season.
Spooky season, and Coach loves a good corn maze. So she would let's do it.
Who doesn't?
And we could go pumpkins and all that. So we went to go do that for a team bonding experience, and that was a lot of fun. And the girls were painting pumpkins, and we did like a little pumpkin painting contest. So that was cool. And that was when like Jimmy Butler, like his little ego phase was a thing. So like what?
Oh yeah.
What's he doing? Yeah.
Painted that, and it was amazing.
No.
That was the one that actually won. Was the emo?
Let's go.
Yeah, all in that group, but I think Saga was one of them. All of them.
Yeah. Of course.
But being able to take these girls' minds off of not just like basketball, but doing other things. And so the other piece that you saw with the painting, we went on like kind of a team retreat to the ranch out in Fort Worth. And we also did have a scrimmage out there too. But the biggest thing about it was too, we wanted to focus on our team while we were out there. So the ranch is a great sports performance facility. We were so lucky to go out there and be able to be kind of on their property. And so something that we did leading up to that week is obviously you guys are very familiar with Secret Santa, right? And like the concept of it.
We do, yes.
A secret sister. And so
secret sister
player had a secret sister, and each day they had a task that they had to do. So like Monday they had to find like a quote that best describes their secret sister, and obviously so you don't give away, I was like, make sure you type it up and you have to put it in their locker by 2 p.m. and like
love note.
They had to get like a little store-bought item, and I put like a $10 cap on it, and they had to find something at like a Target or a Walmart or something that described their secret sister to the best of them. I think like Wednesday was they had to write a handwritten note, and like Thursday they had to make I forgot what Thursday was, but then Friday they had to make like a little goodie bag for their secret sister filled with snacks for the road trip because we drove to Fort Worth. So they did like snack bag for them. And then Friday night, they painted canvases. So like they had about 30 to 45 minutes to paint a canvas that best described their secret sister. And then at the end of it, they were able to guess who they thought their secret sister was. So a lot of them had a feeling they knew who it was because a lot of them did write notes and stuff in their actual handwriting. So like clearly I know who this is and whatnot, but the girls really did love it, and it really filled my bucket that they enjoyed it because they took it extremely seriously and they took it to heart, and every single thing that they did, like they went all out for it, and we were so appreciative of it, like our coaching staff, because they were bought into it, and I felt like that definitely did grow our program, and it grew the girls closer together as well.
Wow. I'm like taking notes and I'm like, I have to revisit this interview because like the next team or like next to any group of people that I have, I'm going to have the secret sister thing. I think that is so cool. And we talked to, Zuri, we've talked to like half the team at this point, and every single one of them talk about like how important their mental health is. And like, I love that you're talking about it not only for the players, but I didn't even think about it. Like, yes, coaches too. Like, y'all are a part of this, and you're leading by example too, which I think is really important. And I just commend you on that. I think that is so special, and that work is so important because we can see it live out on the court. That's why Shelby, like when we saw that first half, that whole game, it was just beautiful basketball, and it's because like they had a secret sister that was giving them the quote that like stuck with them, or they knew them so well that they knew their handwriting. I think that is so cool. Like that is such a connection that I think is really neat to see lived out on the court. So me and Shelby are geeking over here because we would like talk to you about this for a million different years, but like let's move.
I could talk about
forward.
Sports psychology for like 5 hours
So
straight.
cool.
And when you're sitting there talking about that,
because that man is with it. Like,
that's what I actually studied at Texas Tech in grad school, was sports psych. So I, and personality specifically was, anyway, so when you're sitting there talking about that, I'm like, this just makes me know that this team's going to be even better than they already are. And that makes sense to connect it to basketball. Exactly what Sibby just said is you don't play like that with that many different people playing well, unless the team knows each other that well and is just happy for each other and can connect that way off the court as well. That's why that stuff matters. So if people listening think all that stuff is hokey, it's not. Nope. It's like, it matters so much. And we've all, if you've played sports, you've been a part of teams that have done stuff like that and haven't done stuff. And I guarantee the ones that have and have bought into it are always more successful. So
exactly.
Love it. Thank y'all for existing, Zuri, Eric, all of y'all, the whole staff. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, we all are. Oh, all right. Well, do we want to move forward, Shelby, with the roster?
Yeah, I'll have one question about the team, and then we can kick it into that.
Cool.
That'll play well. Is what is something that you feel like this team this year is doing really well now that you're excited about already? Maybe it's what we just talked about. And then what is it also you're like, we might not be doing this quite yet, and y'all might not be seeing it yet, but the potential, you can see that in practice, that you think by mid-season, by conference, they're going to be really good at that. It can be broad or it can be specific, whatever you think.
She's like, everything.
Okay, this is what I. So the reason why, like and you could even see it in our win over UTRGV, we were so aggressive on defense. And I loved it. We all loved it. And I feel like that's where a lot of our spark and energy came from, was how just aggressive we were on defense. Pressing, being all up, like, it was phenomenal. I will say we can probably, I'm trying to figure out like what we can get better at. It's like,
right.
It's tough after coming off of a win like that, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Talk to me after the exhibition. I had some things, but after that.
Yeah. Hey, the biggest thing that we can always get better at is, and just continue to always raise the intensity, right? Like, our third, like, we had a great first half, right? Over 60 points, but in the second half, we didn't. And I don't know about y'all, but I was wanting to hit 100 points. I know we were.
So, we were with you on that one.
We got to don't let off the gas pedal, because at the end of the day, we want for our net ranking to be exceptional. And
good point.
Teams that we're going to play against, they're going to come in here battling. And so I don't care like where you come from. I don't care what division you're in. I don't care what league you're in. Like, at the end of the day, like, basketball is basketball, and people are going to compete at this level.
That's right.
And so
I think, who's your thing to say?
So Indiana. But I think that's the biggest thing, is just not letting off the gas pedal. And I know that our girls definitely recognized that and saw that, especially after the game. Some of them were telling me, like, gosh, I wanted 100 so bad. I was like, so did I. But it was still a tremendous team win. I mean, when you have over 30 points coming from the bench, you're out-rebounding your opponent by over 20. We had, I think, 46, 47, or maybe 45. It might have been 45 points off of their turnovers. Like, our stat line looks phenomenal.
Yes.
Players who,
it's wild.
Like, oh my gosh, like, what did they do? But, like, it doesn't matter what a stat sheet may say, because they did what they needed to do on the court, the tangibles. And that's what matters, because our players are bought into their roles and what they need to do on the court.
Yeah. One other thing, I guess, that you just talked about is the depth of this team, I think, is different than in years past, because you just spoke to that, is what I liked about last night's game. It's only one game, not trying to overhype it, but when the bench came in, it didn't seem like they had to play a different style. Like in years past, we had players that could come off the bench, but maybe like our entire style of basketball had to change a little bit.
Yeah.
When these players came in, it was just like, oh, let's just keep doing it, or even raise the level, like Enrique was doing. Let's just raise the level even more when you come in off the bench. Is that kind of, from your
Yeah.
perspective, something that you're seeing in practice and we'll keep seeing this season?
Yeah, and even in practices, Coach Gerlich likes to see different lineups anyways with different pieces in play because she wants to see how everyone does play with each other. And that also goes back to the riser tap, right? So that's another thing that do is like who is compatible, like who works well,
Yeah.
doesn't, you know what I mean? So she likes to always see different lineups, but the biggest thing is she doesn't want to see anything drop. And that's why I say like we need to continue to just always raise the intensity because I don't care who you are, but whenever your name gets called, you always have to be ready to answer because your coaches believe in you, knowing that you'll be able to go in and do what you need to do and take care of what you need to take care of. So you need to see excellence in yourself, just like she sees it, and you need to go take care of what you need to take care of. So our bench was phenomenal last night. I'm really proud of them. But I think that's probably just the only thing is just don't let off the gas pedal because
For sure.
as once we hit conference, no one's gonna let off the gas pedal for us.
So
So
that's true.
That's
true.
Understand that we can give it.
Yeah,
I love it. Great answer.
Very fun game to watch. Very fun first half, second half, the whole game. But yeah, looking forward to pedal to the metal. And let's talk about who's going to be doing that work. Zuri, we do this and we can't wait to chop this up and make it out for each player, but we're going to run through the roster and it's going to be really cool to hear your perspective. But tell us, whatever comes to mind on the court, off the court, about the 2023-2024 season. Lady Raiders, we're going to start it off with Jasmine Lewis.
Oh my gosh, Jasmine Lewis, she has one of the most genuine hearts. Like I love having conversations with her because she is such a genuine human being. She is like she has just a motherly touch to her, and so she's phenomenal. But she's also a phenomenal basketball player. And y'all see,
bucket,
and I'll take it this way because whenever I had to play against her in practices, when she had me buried, I knew try to hold my ground as much as I can. But
what are you gonna do?
Tough down low,
Nightmare.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good news.
I know when I've guarded her in the past, but she's a phenomenal human being, and I love the fact that she's a Lady Raider, and she's going to have a great senior year.
I love that, yeah. I know, it's just over. And then last night, or whenever this is airing, their game on Tuesday, like she came in and 5 seconds later had that crazy assist down to Enrique. So she does it all. I love her.
Ass like crazy. Like, she has a really nice IQ.
Love it.
Can't wait.
Speaking of a player that has a great IQ and is unfortunately only able to help that from the bench right now, but I'm sure she's doing that, is Jazon Jackson, the transfer from UTEP. Out for the season, but we'll get to see her in the future. So what do you got on her?
Oh my gosh, she is a dog. In regards to
appropriate.
Just how she loves the game and she loves talking about it. So one thing I love to do with Jazzion is like we just love to chop it up and talk hoops. She's a great too. She's so soft spoken, but the thing is, she talks, you listen because she has a lot to say, because she has a lot of experience as well. She has a tremendous story. She has a great head on her shoulders, and gosh, it just breaks my heart that she wasn't able to play this year.
For real,
pain.
So I'm happy that she's here for 2 years because she's with us for 2 years, and she's just a great to be around. So it's like, I guess with 2 more years with her, because it just like selfishly, I love it, right?
Yeah, next year it's only going to be good for her next year.
Yeah.
It's just it's short-term pain, but I mean, to have her in the program for 2 years now, like next year, Jazion's going to be a problem.
Yeah, totally.
Good luck, y'all.
Yeah, for real. And it's really inspiring seeing her perspective of it. So nice to hear it echoed with you too. So let's move on to Ashley Chevalier.
Oh my gosh, Ashley, that girl knows her angles. Okay, like
yeah, she does. Yes, she does.
I love Ashley. She's a phenomenal person. I'm so happy that she came from that other school and transferred.
We are too.
She's a great great person. Gosh, her defense is spectacular. Like, she's one of those players. If I was a player, I would have hated to play against her because I knew I would not want the ball in my hands because she would take at least two. She would get me in foul trouble. Like, she would take at least 2 charges on me. Like, she would steal the ball from me because she's everywhere. She's an interceptor.
She's a menace.
Just feeds off of that. And so Ashley is an amazing person, but she's also just an amazing person on the court as well. And she's the type that she wants to keep learning and growing in her role because she knows what she's able to do and what she's capable of on a court, and she wants to bring that to fruition, and it shows.
Every team needs a player like Ashley Chevalier.
Yes, 100%.
I love. She's one of my favorite ones to watch. She's great.
She's a lot of fun.
Next on the list, Saga Okoro.
My Finnish queen. Oh my god. I
got a couple of those.
Yeah, you got 2 of them now.
Yes, I call them my Finnish queens whenever. But gosh, I love Saga. She's just an amazing human being. I've been lucky enough to know her since she came here as a freshman because that was my first year as a graduate assistant, and we've just grown our relationship over time. And I'm so thankful to know someone like her because her heart is extremely pure. But that's just her off the basketball court. But even on the basketball court, she's one phenomenal teammate. She is a bought-in player who, like, if you look up Krista Gerlich basketball culture, you'll see Saga Okoro like a picture. She's so incredibly bought in, and she works her butt off. And like, even during our game in UCRGV, like, she went in and I told her, I said, you better shoot that thing with confidence. And she touches the ball in the corner, and I knew it was going on. I see, and there's probably a meme that could be made out of my face, and she hits that thing nothing but net, and I just go like this. I knew it was going in. I knew it was going in. And so she's an amazing person, on the court and off the court. And I'm so happy that she's here at Tech.
We are too.
Same.
Thanks for making the trip, Saga. Our next one, shooting threes, Riley McKinney. Tell us about Riley.
Oh my gosh, my girl.
Yeah.
Now, with her, if you look up the word resilience, you'll see her picture under that. Her story, oh my gosh, like the adversity that she's had to overcome. And it's crazy because she's so deceitful on the basketball court. You would have never known. Never that someone of her caliber and what she do, like shooting, just her tenacity, what she brings to the court, like, you wouldn't know that, with her being legally deaf, she wouldn't be able to do the things she's able to do. But the thing is, she doesn't sit on that, and she doesn't let it be something that holds her back. She uses it as something to boost her up. And so Riley is one of the most resilient human beings I've ever met in my life. Earlier, we were talking about how I went through a lot of adversity. My crap does not compare to anything that girl has been through in her life. And she does not sulk in any of that at all. She uses that as a chip on her shoulder. And Riley is just an amazing Lady Raider to have, and just an amazing person to know, because she's also extremely sincere and loyal. And that shows in just the character that she's built for herself.
Yeah.
She is so funny. Like, her and Saga together,
like,
I'm just like,
funny.
This is a TV show. This is
they need their own TV show.
And that's maybe that's something I can work on, is getting because those two together. Oh my!
Mic them up.
Mic them up. We got to hear Saga's little singing. She told us about this singing thing she does in practice, and she's like, "You'll hear it in games. We can't hear it in games. Everyone's screaming too loud.
Yelling at you.
We need the in practice mic'd up moment."
When's your birthday, Shelby?
May 9th.
May 9th. When's yours, Shelby?
March 2nd.
March 2nd. Okay.
When's yours?
So mine's March 14th, but one thing that we like Saga to do is sing happy birthday. So we gotta make sure that we have her sing you both happy birthday.
Oh, send a video. Okay. We're here for that. Okay.
I'm gonna say mine is November 8th, and make
it's
her do
tomorrow.
It
actually, I take it back.
Yeah. It is right now, Saga. I love that. Yeah. All right. Well, next one on the list, I'll go double time. Jordan Merritt. Oh my God, Jordan Merritt.
Oh my God.
Had a great game.
Stared into that girl's soul. I just can't get over it.
I'm really
Continue.
hyped for her.
Go.
Anyway, go ahead. Jordan Merritt.
Her stat line was phenomenal. Like, block.
Who does that?
Rebounds, like everything. And she's just an all-around player. And that's the reason why she was named to the preseason watch list for the Cheryl Miller Small Forward Award.
Casual. Casual.
That's what we're saying.
The thing is, she's extremely humble. Oh my gosh, she's extremely humble. And a player like that, with the accolades that she's had, like coming out of high school, what she was ranked in the state of Texas, what she was ranked,
absurd.
Like that girl has some accolades. Like when she was her freshman year at Florida, she made the All SEC freshman team. Like, and then at the end of that, she was invited to the under-19 like USA like trials in Colorado. Like, so people notice her on a national scale. And when you talk to her, you would not think she has all these honors and all these accolades, because she is so humble. She's just gosh, she has a fantastic personality. I love talking to Jordan. I love being around her because she just has a great head on her shoulders, and she's just like, when you look up the definition, I know I keep saying this, but like literally of Lady Raider, like right there, she's like picture for it all.
That's big words, because she's a transfer and I love it.
Yeah,
but
I do too.
My favorite part of last night, besides the game, was her post game. She was just smiling, and I was like, it's just good to see Jordan Merritt happy and just balling out again. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like.
And you said it yourself, she is a transfer, but there's something that tells me that certain things happen in everyone's journeys to kind of reroute them to where they were destined to be. And Jordan was always destined to be a Lady Raider.
Yeah, she could. She was recruited here out of high school. It could have happened, but things were changing. It could have happened. It didn't. She got here eventually, and
she needed to actually be here with Coach Gerlich, like right now.
That's exactly.
So
it was meant to be.
Right.
Love it.
All right, next on the list is Elena Enrique. Game changer of the night, or whatever you all calling that last night. Dominator.
Yes, Lady Raider Dominator. So Elena, my other Finnish queen, she's amazing as well. She's like one of the hardest working human beings I've ever met in my life. Like, seriously. When she got in, and immediately when she got cleared, she asked one of our assistant coaches for a workout, and she was in the gym like relentlessly. She's always wanting to get better with her game. She's always wanting to learn and grow. And it's funny because we were talking about Jazzion earlier, with them being like transfers, and when I'm sitting with Jazzion and we're talking hoops and we're watching practice and Elena's doing her thing, Jazzion's just going crazy, like uplifting her, like let her talk, like let her do her game, and I'm like, oh my god,
that transfer love.
Yes, you love it. Like, that's sisterhood right there. That is sisterhood.
Yeah.
And so Elena, she's just a great piece to our Lady Raider puzzle, and she's an amazing person as well, and she's completely bought into this whole system.
So cool. So cool.
Yeah, fans are going to get to know her. If you don't know her, you're about to find out.
Exactly.
I know. I went up to her and I was like, after the game, I was like, you had such a good game. She's like, thank you. And I was like,
Did you give her Krabby Patties?
No Krabby Patties. No. The candy comes in conference play. Shelby, gotta work for it. All right, next one. Another historic night for Jasmine Shavers. Breaking her. Girl. Yeah, having a great night last night. Tell us about Jazz Shavers and tell us.
Oh, Jazzy. Yeah, she's just an incredible human being all around. The way that Coach Gerlich has her system set up, she wants for Jazzy to be successful and to grow within it. And so, Jazzy I've seen her grow like day to day, week by week, year by year, and I love it. She is someone that is going to be a very intricate piece for us, especially this year. And I know she's extremely bought into that and what she wants to do and the things that she wants to prove this year for herself. And so she's been working out like crazy, getting in the gym, trying to perfect her craft. And clearly everything showed this first game of the season with what she was able to do. And I'm just so proud of her. And I'm always proud of her. Like, she just makes my heart smile because she's just, I love that girl. She's amazing.
Yeah. She just quietly, you look up every game and you're like, oh, yeah. Jazzy has 26 points? What? When did that happen? Yeah. Like, what? Step back 3 on them at the end of the quarter. Anyway, all this stuff last night. We love it, Jazzy. She's fun.
No, she's awesome.
All right. Next one on the list, we have Kyla Freeland.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Kyla is amazing. She is unapologetically herself, and I love it. I think earlier how I was talking about how I wasn't confident in myself. If I had a Kyla Freeland like as my teammate, I would have felt more confident within myself when I was an underclassman because she just
Contagious.
brings it day in and day out. Like when you want to talk about a girl that's bought into a role, Kyla is. And that's why she had a great game in the exhibition game. That's why she's able to do the things that she's doing on the court her sophomore year because she's sticking to her role and she like exemplifies confidence with her actions. And so Kyla is just a tremendous person to have around. I mean, she's always up in the office saying hi to all of us, like all of our coaches, because she's just an extrovert and she loves to spread happiness. Like when I see her, my heart just smiles and my eyes just light up because she definitely rubs off on people and she fills people's buckets and everyone needs a Kyla in their circle.
For real.
What a nice thing. Yeah. We're gonna Kyla, you're gonna be on this show eventually, don't worry. Coming on. Everyone talks about how fun she is, so we'll get her on here. Another transfer, Jada Wynn.
Um, Jada Wynn is a phenomenal person just all around. I call her my Winnie girl because she reminds me of Winnie the Pooh, like the cartoon character, because Winnie the Pooh is like the sweetest cartoon character. I had to have like a Winnie the Pooh, like little stuffed animal. I always wanted to watch it because Winnie the Pooh makes you feel good about yourself. Like that character always made you smile, and Jada does the same thing. She gives the best hugs. And she's just a phenomenal person, like all around, and she's a coach's kid. So the things like the standards that she has for herself, it goes back to what I was saying with Lady Raider basketball. Like the standards that we have for this basketball program, we want to uphold them, and she wants to uphold them too for this program, and she wants to be able to bring all of Coach's goals to fruition, and it shows with how the way she walks, the way she talks, and how she presents herself. So, Jada is a great person to have as a part of this team, and it shows with just who she is as a person.
Yeah.
All right. Next one on the list. Yeah, unfortunately, not going to see her play this season, but her comeback season started. JoJo Nawari.
Oh, JoJo. Oh my gosh. Love that girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that she's out for another year. Because she was so ready this year. She was so ready. So
I
ready.
bet.
I tell you, like, our hearts all collectively broke whenever we found out that she wasn't going to be able to play another season. It tore us up. But
Same.
personally for me, she built me back up because of how much like just confidence she had. Like she took that injury happened, and then I remember like literally a day or two later, I was checking in on her, and the first thing that she said is, "It's okay, it happened. When I come back from this surgery, I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be stronger." And I was like, "That's what
That's
I'm
what's up.
talking about." Yes,
That's what's up.
I love that, and so JoJo is, and she is, it's funny because if you ever like talk to her, she's very soft spoken. She doesn't really speak up. She's not very vocal, but she's become more vocal this year because she knows that she has a very important voice and she wants to use it to be able to help her teammates because she knows that she can't play on the court. So she wants to be able to get them to be able to get to wherever they can get in life.
Love that. I saw her last night in some of the highlights and on TV behind the bench going
Yeah.
crazy for her teammates. So she's very,
Very
into
much
the
in it.
game still for
Yeah.
sure.
Awesome.
Love it. And one of those teammates she was going crazy for was Bailey Maupin doing the thing.
The Groover stands out. Oh my god. Gosh, I freaking love Bailey. I love Bailey. She is, gosh, she's such a gritty person. Like, and it's not just in basketball; it's in life, and that goes back to how she was raised. I mean, the girl grew up on a farm, and her
Mm-hmm.
farm is, I think, it's been in her family for like over 100 years, and so that's something that she grew up on, and hard work, dedication,
Tough.
grit, all that stuff. Like West Texas tough is Bailey Maupin, and she plays like that and she moves like that. And so I'm so happy that Bailey decided to stay in West Texas because she's a great role model for a lot of these young girls who are growing up in this area and realizing they don't have to leave this place to be able to chase their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Say
so
it louder.
true.
Say
I
it
know.
louder. Yeah.
And talking about like West Texas and showing up, especially at home, we have our hometown hero with Kelly Mora.
Yes, Kelly. Oh my gosh. And so it's funny because Kelly wears number 30 and that was my number in college.
Oh, okay.
show me pictures of me and Kelly whenever I was younger, and I'm like, oh my gosh, thank goodness for puberty, because I tell you what, I look like horrendous, but
Don't believe it.
Kelly's to be able to play for Lady Raider basketball, and she's chasing that dream, and like what I just said about Bailey, like being able to empower these young women to know that they don't have to leave this area to chase their dreams. Kelly Mora is literally living that right now. And so
Right.
Kelly, she brings great, like, just a lot of tenacity to the court because she's a terrific rebounder. And she can rebound the heck out of that ball. I mean,
Yes,
as soon as she touches the court, she got a rebound put back against UTR.
Yeah.
Like,
the
that's
stats, by the way, do not have a rebound for her. Someone look into that.
Because she literally got a rebound put back.
Yes, thank you. We did the live show last night, and I was like, okay, the stats are saying no rebounds, but I remember her ripping a ball out of someone's hand and putting it back up as soon as she went in the game.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yes, agreed. Next on the list, Achal Magat.
Achol, yeah. So Achol Magat, Achol is phenomenal. I call her my desert Barbie because obviously, her Arizona to Lubbock, Texas. You know, she's used to the drip in the desert. Okay, I love talking to her because she never fails to really make me smile and put a smile on my face. She goes out of her way to always speak to me when she sees me. And I know that's tough sometimes because she is far away from home as a freshman. And so sometimes you're probably in that mindset of like, oh, I am homesick and whatnot, but she's definitely been able to explore and get out of that headset and be able to definitely come within her own ways. And she's a 6'7" post that can do tremendous things for us, especially when you have someone like Coach Plannette Pearson, who's been in the league for 15 years, who knows it about post play.
Just a little bit.
To help you, like, Achol's gonna, like, her ceiling is so high.
She's gonna be a problem.
To break through that thing whenever with this coaching staff that we have into place. So I'm excited to watch Achol grow here as a Lady Raider, and I'm excited to see what her 4 years are going to be like.
Good. Future's bright. Can't wait. Along with this entire team. And with that, we have our last player here with Logan Johnson.
Oh, H-Town. Yes. H-Town. Yeah, she's a phenomenal two-way player. Logan is so bought into defense, which I know that's one thing that Coach just loves about that girl because Coach loves defense. And so, like, Logan, it's funny, like, we'll talk about, I'm like, what goals do you have for yourself this game? And she'll give me nothing but defensive goals. And, like, she'll give me a couple offensive things, but, like...
She's like, score at some point, but also, I just want to lock them the ish down.
Yes, and y'all, she bought to it, like pedal to the metal. And so Logan's a great kid, and she comes from a really great family. Her mom is amazing. Her mom is actually here for the UTRGV game.
I saw, yeah, that's awesome.
Just like, Logan's a great kid, and it shows with how she just presents herself, you know, as a freshman. And so she's very smart, she's very unique, and I love the fact that she's here at Texas Tech.
Same.
Too.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk to her way back in, I don't know, was that May? That was a while ago, but we were like, yeah, she's a dog, and she loves defense. So it felt fitting last night, her first career points in a Lady Raider uniform. We're off a steal, so that feels right. That feels right.
Very, very true.
All
right, well, we could probably keep talking to you forever, but we all have to get to sleep eventually. So
yeah, it's funny because so the text that I was responding back to, Saga just texted me.
Oh no!
Because going on, so she, so like one of the seats that I'm sitting in, she was asking me if there was basically one next to me. So I was like, I was responding back to her because I was like, yes, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm coming. But everyone knows, like, I'm gonna be in and out probably. So
yeah.
Away from each.
You got things to do.
Yeah, I can watch it.
I guess
it's on ESPN Plus if I really want to.
Yeah, rewatch it for sure.
Yeah.
I guess like. One of the last questions we'd have is obviously you're director of player development. You're also the director of social media recruiting. So I feel like you're a good person to ask this question because you deal with it on a day-to-day basis. But when it comes to Texas Tech fans, like what is your ideal Texas Tech fan, both when they attend a game in person, but also how they interact online and hype up the team online? Like what is your ideal fan?
Oh my gosh. My ideal fan is just someone who's just as bought into it as we are.
Mm.
And I'll be honest, like, and this happens at probably every university, let's be honest. Um,
Yeah.
there are a lot of people who have Twitter fingers and who kind of mean whenever things don't go the way that they want to for their school. And I get it. Like, sports gets us all riled up. Like, there's going to be wins and there's going to be losses, right? But at the end of the day, like, these are still 18 to 22-year-old kids. And I'm just going to use as an example Notre Dame. Like what happened last year. There were death threats that were sent to a young girl, a young female.
Yeah.
So
And that
absurd.
has also happened to men's basketball players. Like, and so that's not my ideal fan. My ideal
Preach.
is someone who is very sympathetic and empathetic to these young men and young women who are just trying to find their way. And they use their sport that they've been naturally gifted and blessed with to be able to find their way in life and use as a platform to grow within themselves. And the fans that understand that and see that and are very genuine to the heart and show that with their social media is my ideal fan. And we have a lot of those here at Tech, which I absolutely love. And then there's also been fans, even when I was a player, who have tweeted some mean things. And when you go to their accounts, it's like, wait, is this a real person or not? Because like
Mm-hmm.
their profile picture doesn't even look real, and like they're
Yeah.
out of another state or whatever, and who knows, it might be staged. I don't know, but it's just my biggest thing or is my ideal fan are the genuine fans that we have here at Tech that are just so sincere and so sweet, especially after a loss. Like if you want to say you worked hard, you did great, like all that stuff, that's something that I probably need to hear to fill my bucket, not
Mm-hmm.
my personal appearance. Not you acting like the one time I didn't get one rebound. Like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? And so, because I have been attacked for my personal appearance before, and I won't be the only person who has been attacked.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It happens. And so, I'm so thankful for the fans who are genuine on social media, especially after a loss, with the things that they say, or they just don't say anything at all. Like, if you want to sit on, because trust me, I guarantee you, I'm probably beating myself up more than you're trying to beat me up. Like, you know,
Right.
like,
Yes.
like trust me, because I was already on the phone with my dad crying, talking about
Yeah.
I could have done that better. And after I would be done crying about it, the next thing my dad would always say is, "But did you play hard?" And I
Mm.
would be,
Yeah.
yes. And he goes, then you had nothing to regret because you gave it
Mm-hmm.
all you could. You gave it all you could. And so
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's something that's my ideal fan. And we have a lot of them. I mean, I'm looking at two of them right now.
Hey, you know we got you.
I'm so thankful for you guys. And again, you guys using your platform to be able to just really hit on Tech athletics and then also like our sports programs. You guys have been phenomenal with how you use your platform, how you use your voices. And I know I'm extremely appreciative of it. I know a lot of other people are extremely appreciative of it because your coverage is exceptional. So thank you guys.
I
Wow.
appreciate that.
Well,
I love.
yeah.
We might just have to clip all the part before you're making us blush, but all the part about the fans because people need to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fans need to hear that, and that's kind of part of our mission statement. Is we agree. I don't understand the fans that for some reason think that like if they don't point out the bad stuff that happened in a sporting event, the team won't know about it or they won't get better. I'm like, it's just blows my mind. They don't need to hear it from y'all.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I think you articulated that perfectly. So everyone listen to what she just said because we agree, obviously, here
Yeah.
with what we do. But hopefully, other people will join the bandwagon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Zuri, we cannot thank you enough for your time tonight and your time with this program for so many years already and for the time that you're going to be putting forward to this season. So we can't wait to watch y'all ball out continuously well into March. And we're also excited to cheer you on too. And maybe you didn't get to postseason play when you were a player, but you're doing it now and in the position that you are. And let's keep the good times rolling, girl. Sky's the limit. You know what? I'm the Red Raider that's like, we're winning a natty. So
We're
I
winning a
can't
natty
wait.
in every sport.
I can't wait to see that happen for you. And just remember us when you make it big time. Okay, Zuri, will you Promise.
She's already big time.
You guys don't forget about me whenever your podcast is. Do you guys have Apple and Spotify and all that stuff yet?
Yeah, we're on there too.
Okay,
Yeah.
you guys are.
There's people that listen to just the audio.
So the next stop would obviously be like how, because I love Kelsey Brothers, like their podcast. So cool.
Oh, it's so good.
But like, I wouldn't be surprised if like the next step for you guys is whenever they start like filming you on like, streaming platforms like YouTube Live, and I don't know.
Oh no!
Oh, we already do that. We already do that. Zuri. What do you mean? We do lives every Tuesday night. We started that a few weeks ago. So we did one last night after y'all's game.
You guys are already.
Zuri, yeah, you got bigger fish to fry, Zuri. Like you
ain't watching that stuff. But we'll bring you on
the gals.
later in the season. You can come on to our YouTube live or with us later in the season. We got you.
Oh yeah.
But we appreciate the support. It's good to have a fan in you because we're fans of you.
Not to make sure I cuss or anything.
Girl, that ain't a problem here around these parts. I'm on this podcast. Just saying. Well, Zuri, yeah, thank you again. We cannot wait to continue to support you and to watch y'all play and compete. And yeah, when the losses happen, we accept that as information and we learn something from it, and that makes us better for the next time and celebrate the wins just as much. So can't wait. Thank you so much, Zuri. And we always end our show with a wreck 'em. You know how it goes. So until next time, y'all, wreck 'em.
Wreck 'em.